The last stand. The sky above Velor burned red as the sun set behind columns of black smoke. Tom pressed his face against the cold glass of the shelter window, watching his home die. The small farming colony that had been his whole world for 16 years was now a graveyard of broken buildings and scorched earth. "Get away from the window," his mother whispered, pulling at his arm. Her hands shook. Everything shook these days. The ground trembled with each explosion. The shelter walls vibrated with the sounds of distant weapons fire. Even the air itself seemed to tremble with fear. Tom stayed where he was. Someone had to watch. Someone had to see what was happening up there. The Krell moved through the settlement like hunting beasts. Their dark armor made them look like shadows with teeth. Tom counted 12 of them in his view, but he knew there were many more. The Defense Force had reported over 200 before their communications went silent an hour ago, before they died. How much longer? Someone asked in the darkness behind Tom. He recognized the voice as belonging to Old Man Marcus, the colony leader. The man who always had answers suddenly had none. "I don't know," another voice replied. It was Jack, one of the 5 defenders still alive up there. His voice came through the crackling radio speaker mounted on the shelter wall. "We're down to our last power cells. Maybe 20 minutes of firing time, maybe less, 20 minutes. Tom did the math in his head. The Krell would reach the shelter entrance in 10. His little sister Emma tugged on his shirt. She was only 7. Too young to understand that they were all going to die here. Too young to remember Earth, the homeworld their parents had left behind seeking a peaceful life among the stars. "Are the heroes coming?" Emma asked. Her voice was small but clear in the quiet shelter. "Like in the stories?" Tom looked down at her. Her eyes were wide and trusting. She still believed in stories. She still believed in heroes. "No one's coming, sweetheart," their mother said softly. "The signals can't get through. The Krell ships are blocking everything." "Then we'll die here," Marcus stated. His voice carried no emotion. "Just fact, just truth. We should prepare ourselves." The shelter held 43 people. Women, children, elderly farmers who had come to Velor seeking peace. The colony's fighting-age men and women were either dead or dying up above, holding the line for a few more precious minutes. Minutes that bought them nothing. No rescue, no hope, just a slower death. Tom turned back to the window. The Krell commander stood in the center of the burning settlement. He was massive even for his species. His armor bore the marks of many battles. He pointed toward the shelter entrance with one clawed hand, giving orders Tom couldn't hear. The Krell began to advance. "This is it." Jack's voice crackled over the radio. "This is our last stand. Tell my wife, tell Lisa I'm sorry. Tell her I love—" The radio cut to static. Tom's mother began to cry. Others in the shelter joined her. The sound of weeping filled the underground space like a funeral song. Emma squeezed Tom's hand. "I'm scared," she whispered. "Me too," Tom admitted. There was no point in lying now. The Krell were 50 meters from the entrance. 40 meters, 30. Then the sky changed. It happened so fast that Tom almost missed it. One moment the sky was red with sunset and smoke. The next moment it was filled with streaks of white fire. The Krell stopped advancing. Their heads turned upward. Even from this distance, Tom could see their confusion. "What is that?" Someone shouted in the shelter. "Meteors," another voice suggested. "No," Marcus said, moving to the window beside Tom. The old man's eyes went wide. "Those aren't meteors. Those are drop pods." The objects screamed down through the atmosphere like falling stars. Dozens of them. Maybe 50. They were black as night, surrounded by flames from atmospheric entry. The sonic booms reached the shelter seconds later, shaking dust from the ceiling. Tom counted the impacts. The pods hit the ground around the settlement like hammers from heaven. Each impact sent up a fountain of dirt and rock. The ground shook so hard that Tom had to grab the window frame to stay standing. The Krell scattered, taking defensive positions. Their weapons came up, aimed at the smoking craters where the pods had landed. For a long moment, nothing happened. The pods just sat there, steam rising from their scorched metal surfaces. The Krell commander shouted orders. His warriors formed a battle line ready to face whatever emerged. Then the pods opened. The doors didn't open slowly. They blew outward with explosive charges that sent metal panels flying. Steam and smoke poured from the openings, creating a fog across the battlefield. Heavy footsteps echoed from within the pods. Metal on metal. The sound of war machines waking up. Figures emerged from the smoke, tall, armored, moving with purpose that made the Krell look clumsy by comparison. "Who are they?" Emma asked, pressing against Tom's side. Tom squinted through the smoke. The figures wore armor unlike anything he had seen before. Battle-scarred metal plates covered them from head to foot. Their helmets had no faces, just dark visors that reflected nothing. Then he saw it. The symbol painted on their shoulder plates. A blue and green circle, a white star field in one corner. Earth. They're from Earth, Tom breathed. They're human. That's impossible, Marcus said. Earth is 12 light years away. How could they? I don't care how, Tom's mother interrupted. Are they here to help us? The answer came seconds later. The Krell commander laughed. Tom could hear it even through the shelter's thick walls. The alien warlord gestured at his 200 warriors, then at the roughly 50 humans who had emerged from the pods. The commander was laughing at their numbers, laughing at their chances. He ordered the attack. The Krell charged forward with energy weapons blazing. Green bolts of plasma lit up the darkening sky. They screamed their war cries, confident in their superior numbers. The humans didn't run. They didn't take cover. They didn't even slow down. They walked forward into the storm of fire like death itself. Their weapons spoke. The sound was different from Krell weapons, deeper, angrier, more final. Krell warriors began to fall. Not one or two, not a few. They fell in waves, cut down by weapons that didn't miss, didn't hesitate, didn't stop. Tom watched in stunned silence as the battle unfolded. The humans moved like nothing he had ever seen. They advanced in perfect formation, their weapons finding targets with mechanical precision. When Krell warriors got close, the humans didn't retreat. They fought hand-to-hand with a savagery that made the Krell look gentle. One human, larger than the others, his armor covered in battle scars, walked straight toward the Krell commander. Plasma bolts struck his armor, but he didn't fall. He didn't even stumble, he just kept walking. What are they? Someone whispered in the shelter. Marcus's voice was quiet when he answered. Those are Earth's warriors. I've heard stories, but I never believed them. I never thought. A voice cut through the chaos. It came over the emergency frequency, clear and strong despite all the jamming. Velor colony. This is Earth, we heard your call. The voice belonged to the scarred warrior, the one walking toward the Krell commander. His voice carried the weight of 1,000 battles. Hold fast. We're here now. No one else dies today. Marcus fell to his knees. Tears ran down his weathered face. Around the shelter, people began to cry. Not from fear this time. From relief. From hope they thought was dead. Emma tugged on Tom's shirt again. Who are they? She asked. Her voice filled with wonder. Tom watched the scarred warrior reach the Krell commander. The alien was massive, but the human didn't care. Their weapons met with a crash that echoed across the settlement. They're humans, Tom said quietly. Like us. He paused, watching more Krell fall, watching Earth's warriors push forward without mercy or hesitation. But different. Outside, the battle raged on. But for the first time in 3 days, the people of Velor allowed themselves to hope. The warriors from Earth had come, and they had brought war with them. The turning tide. The battle lasted 11 minutes. Tom watched every second of it from the shelter window. He couldn't look away. None of them could. What they witnessed was something the galaxy had never seen before, something the Krell would remember for generations, if any of them survived. The scarred warrior, the one the others called Captain, fought the Krell commander in the center of the burning settlement. Their battle was brutal and fast. The commander swung his energy blade with the strength that had conquered a dozen worlds. The captain met each strike with movements that seemed almost lazy but were perfectly timed. He's toying with him, Marcus whispered beside Tom. The human is actually toying with him. Tom saw it too. The captain could have ended the fight in seconds. Instead, he let the commander attack, let him believe he had a chance. Every Krell warrior watching could see their leader fighting. Every human warrior stood back and let it happen. This wasn't just a battle. It was a message. The commander lunged forward with his blade aimed at the captain's throat. The human sidestepped, grabbed the Krell's arm and twisted. The sound of breaking bone carried across the battlefield. The commander screamed. His blade fell from useless fingers. The captain picked up the energy weapon. He looked at it for a moment, then tossed it aside like garbage. You don't deserve a warrior's death, the captain said. His voice carried through the external speakers in his helmet. Every Krell could hear. Every human colonist could hear. You prey on farmers and children. You burn homes and call it glory. The commander tried to rise. The captain's armored boot pressed him back down into the dirt. This planet is under Earth's protection now, the captain continued. Take this message to your warlords. Tell them what happened here. Tell them that humanity has arrived. Tell them we protect our own. He pulled his sidearm and fired once. The commander stopped moving. Around them, the remaining Krell warriors broke. They ran for their ships, abandoning weapons and wounded in their panic. The human warriors didn't pursue. They simply watched the aliens flee, their dark visors revealing nothing. It's over, someone breathed in the shelter. They won. They actually won. In 11 minutes, Marcus added, his voice filled with disbelief. 50 warriors defeated 200 Krell in 11 minutes. The shelter door's emergency locks disengaged with a heavy clunk. Fresh air rushed in, carrying the smell of smoke and scorched metal. The captain stood at the entrance, his armor still smoking from plasma hits. Behind him, his warriors were already moving through the settlement, checking for survivors and threats. Is everyone all right down here? The captain asked. His helmet retracted, revealing a face that looked carved from stone. Scars crossed his weathered features. His eyes were the color of cold steel. Marcus climbed the stairs on shaking legs. Yes, thanks to you. How did you get here so fast? We only sent the distress call 6 hours ago. We were already in the sector, the captain replied. Patrol route. We detected Krell signatures and came at full burn. He looked past Marcus at the frightened faces in the shelter. His expression softened slightly. You're safe now. All of you. Emma pulled free from their mother's grip and ran up the stairs. She stopped in front of the captain and looked up at him with wide eyes. Are you a hero? She asked. The captain knelt down to her level. Up close, Tom could see just how many scars covered his face. This was a man who had seen more battles than Tom could imagine. No, little one, the captain said gently. I'm just a soldier. But I promise you this. No one will hurt you again. Not while Earth's warriors draw breath. Emma surprised everyone by hugging him. The massive warrior in scarred armor froze for a moment, then carefully patted her back with one armored hand. Tom's mother rushed forward to retrieve Emma, apologizing. The captain waved her off. Don't apologize, he said, standing. That's why we fight. That's why we came. He looked at all the colonists now emerging from the shelter into the fading light. You're colonists, not soldiers. You came out here seeking peace, that's your right. It's our job to make sure you can live in peace. But Earth is so far away, Marcus said. How can you protect colonies this far out? The captain smiled. It wasn't a warm smile. Earth is always closer than you think. We have patrol fleets in every sector where humans live. Silent watchers. When you called for help, 20 ships heard you. We were just the closest. He gestured to the sky. Right now, 3 Earth battle cruisers are entering orbit. They'll stay until this sector is secure. 3 battle cruisers, Marcus repeated. For one small colony? For our people, the captain corrected. Size doesn't matter. You're human. That means something to Earth. That means everything. One of the other warriors approached. She was smaller than the captain but moved with the same deadly grace. Sir, we've secured the perimeter. No remaining hostiles. Found 8 Krell wounded. What are your orders? Treat their wounds, the captain said. Then put them on one of their own ships and send them home. Let them spread the word about what happened here. The warrior nodded and moved off. Tom noticed she had a name stenciled on her armor. Rodriguez. These warriors had names, families, lives beyond battle. Yet they had come light years to fight for people they'd never met. Why? Tom found himself asking. The word came out before he could stop it. The captain's cold eyes fixed on him. Why do you do this? Why risk your lives for us? The captain studied him for a long moment. How old are you, son? 16, sir. 16. Old enough to understand then. The captain moved to the window where Tom had watched the battle. He looked out at the smoking settlement. 300 years ago, Earth was alone in the galaxy. We reached for the stars and found them full of species that had been traveling space for thousands of years. They looked at us and saw primitives. Weak. Easy to conquer or ignore. He turned back to face the colonists. They didn't know humans. They didn't know that we survived ice ages and plagues. That we crawled up from caves to touch the stars. That we never, not once in our entire history, abandoned our own. The captain's hand clenched into a fist. When the Krell attacked our first colony, they expected us to accept it, to mourn and move on. They didn't expect Earth to declare war. They didn't expect us to build a war fleet in 5 years that matched powers who'd had them for millennia. They didn't expect us to win. The Krell War, Marcus said. I read about it. That was 50 years ago. 63 years, the captain corrected. I was there. I was 17, fresh out of basic training. I watched good people die on a dozen worlds. I swore on their graves that no human colony would ever stand alone again, that Earth would always answer the call. He looked directly at Tom. That's why we do this, because you're ours, because that's what humans do. We protect each other. A beeping sound came from the captain's wrist computer. He checked it and nodded. The battlecruisers are in orbit. They're sending down construction crews and supplies. You'll have your settlement rebuilt in a week. Medical teams are already landing. A week? Marcus shook his head in amazement. It took us 3 months to build what was destroyed today. Earth has had a lot of practice rebuilding colonies, the captain said grimly. Too much practice, but that's changing. The galaxy is learning. Attack human colonies and Earth comes for you every time, without fail, without mercy. He moved toward the door, his warriors falling in around him. We'll maintain patrols until the sector is secure. A garrison will remain on planet for the next 6 months. After that, we'll have long-range sensors installed. If anything hostile comes within light years of Valor, we'll know. Thank you, Marcus said. The words seemed inadequate for what these warriors had done. Thank you for our lives. The captain paused at the door. Thank us by living them well. Build your farms, raise your children, live in peace. That's all the thanks we need. He looked back one more time. And remember, you're never alone out here. Earth is always watching. Earth always comes. Then he was gone, his warriors moving like shadows back to their drop pods. Within minutes, the pods launched back toward orbit, leaving trails of fire across the darkening sky. Tom stood with his family and watched them go. Emma held his hand tightly. They're really gone? She asked. They're really gone, Tom confirmed. But they'll come back if we need them? Tom thought about the captain's words, about the scars on his face and the certainty in his voice, about 50 warriors defeating 200 Krell in 11 minutes, about 3 battle cruisers sent to protect one small colony. Yes, he said, they'll always come back. Marcus stood nearby, looking at the smoking remains of the settlement with new eyes. Earth always comes, he repeated quietly. I never understood what that meant before. I never knew. Tom's mother hugged Emma and Tom close. We came out here seeking peace, she said. We found it, because someone back home was willing to fight for it. Above them, the stars began to appear in the darkening sky. Somewhere up there, Earth's warriors were already moving to their next patrol route, already watching over other colonies, already ready to descend from the skies when hope was gone. Tom smiled. For the first time in 3 days, he felt truly safe. The warriors from Earth had come, and they had shown the galaxy what humanity really meant. The message spreads. 3 months passed before Tom truly understood what had happened on Valor. The settlement was rebuilt in 5 days, not 7. Earth's construction crews worked around the clock with machines that seemed to build structures out of thin air. The burned homes were replaced with stronger ones. The destroyed fields were replanted with crops that grew twice as fast. The entire colony looked better than it had before the attack, but the real changes were invisible. Tom noticed them in the way traders spoke to Marcus now. The colony leader who had once begged for fair prices now had merchants competing for his business. Ships that had never stopped at Valor before now made it a regular port of call. Why the change? Tom asked Marcus one afternoon as they watched another trade ship land. The old man smiled. We're under Earth's protection now. Everyone knows it. That makes us valuable. That makes us safe. He gestured at the ship. That captain told me he'd rather do business with a protected human colony than risk trading with uncertain systems. Earth's guarantee means something in this galaxy. Tom watched the traders unload goods, premium equipment, medical supplies, technology that frontier colonies rarely saw, all offered at prices that seemed too good to be true. They're afraid, Tom realized. Respect and fear often look the same, Marcus replied. But yes, they saw what happened to the Krell. The whole sector saw. That part was true. The Krell warriors who had fled Velor had spread the story across a dozen systems. Tom had heard the tales from passing traders. With each retelling, the story grew larger. Some said 1,000 Earth warriors had descended from the skies. Others claimed the humans had destroyed the entire Krell fleet. The truth was impressive enough. 50 warriors, 11 minutes. 200 Krell defeated, but it was what happened after that truly shook the galaxy. Earth hadn't stopped with Velor. The 3 battle cruisers that had come to protect the colony had stayed in the sector for a month. They had visited every system where Krell forces operated. They had delivered a simple message to every Krell warlord they found. Leave human space. Never return. Or face extinction. Most of the Krell had left. The ones who stayed had disappeared mysteriously. Their ships found drifting and empty. No survivors. No evidence. Just empty vessels bearing a single message painted on their hulls in human script. Earth remembers. The Council of Unified Worlds is meeting next week, Marcus told Tom. Representatives from 40 species. They want to discuss Earth's aggressive expansion and militaristic policies. He laughed. Politicians who ignored our calls for help now want to lecture Earth about being too violent. What will Earth say? Tom asked. I imagine they'll say what they always say, that they protect their own, that any species is welcome to join them in defending the innocent, that Earth takes no territory and wants no empire. Marcus shook his head. The Council won't understand. They think in terms of power and politics. They don't understand that Earth fights for principles, not profit. A military transport descended from orbit. Tom recognized the design now. Earth Defense Force. The garrison troops that had stayed on Velor for 3 months were finally rotating out. Lieutenant Davis stepped off the transport first. She had led the garrison with calm efficiency, training local volunteers and establishing defense systems. Tom had learned a lot from her in 3 months. How to maintain plasma rifles, how to read sensor arrays, how to think like a soldier without becoming one. Tom, she greeted him with a nod. Marcus, we're heading out. The replacement garrison will arrive tomorrow. You're really leaving already? Emma asked, running up to join them. She had become something of a mascot to the garrison troops. They had taught her self-defense and given her a toy version of their armor. Orders, Davis said, kneeling to Emma's level. But don't worry. More of Earth's warriors are coming. They'll keep you safe. Will you come back? Emma asked. Davis smiled. It was a real smile. Not the professional one she wore on duty. Maybe someday. But there are other colonies that need help. Other places where people are afraid. That's what we do. You're heroes, Emma said with absolute certainty. Davis glanced at Tom. He remembered what the captain had said 3 months ago. Just soldiers, not heroes. But Tom saw something different in Davis's eyes now. Pride, maybe. Or purpose. We're humans, Davis said finally. Just like you. We just chose to fight so you don't have to. She stood and saluted Marcus. Sir, the colony is secure. All defense systems are operational. Long-range sensors are active. You have a direct link to the nearest Earth patrol fleet. Use it if you need anything. Marcus returned the salute awkwardly. He had never been military. Thank you, Lieutenant. For everything. Davis and her troops boarded the transport. Within minutes they were gone, heading back to orbit and whatever mission awaited them next. Tom watched them go with mixed feelings. Safe, yes, but also aware of what that safety cost. Somewhere out there, Earth's warriors were fighting, bleeding, dying, so that farmers and children could sleep peacefully. Come on, Marcus said, his hand on Tom's shoulder. We have a colony meeting tonight. There's something we need to discuss. The meeting hall was packed. Every adult colonist had come, and many of the older teenagers like Tom. Marcus stood at the front, looking nervous but determined. "We've been given a choice," Marcus began without preamble. "Earth has offered to upgrade our colony status. We can remain an independent settlement under Earth's protection, or we can formally join the Terran Federation. Become full citizens with all rights and responsibilities." Murmurs spread through the crowd. Tom's mother raised her hand. "What responsibilities?" "Every Federation world contributes to the common defense," Marcus explained. "That means a small tax. It means young people can volunteer for Earth's military. It means we become part of something larger than ourselves." "We left Earth to get away from all that," someone called out. "We wanted peace." "And Earth gave us that peace," Marcus countered. "They asked nothing in return. But now they're offering us a choice. Stay independent and protected, or join the family officially." The debate lasted 2 hours. Arguments on both sides were passionate. Some colonists wanted to maintain independence. Others felt they owed Earth their loyalty after what the warriors had done. Finally, Marcus called for a vote. "Show of hands. Who votes to join the Terran Federation?" Tom raised his hand without hesitation. His mother hesitated, then raised hers. Emma raised both hands, making people laugh. Across the hall, more hands went up. Marcus counted carefully. 73 in favor, 41 against. Motion passes. Fellow colony will petition to join the Terran Federation. Cheers and groans mixed together. But even those who voted against looked relieved. The choice was made. They were part of something now. Part of Earth's family. Later that night, Tom stood outside looking at the stars. Emma joined him, wrapped in a blanket against the evening chill. "Do you think you'll join them?" she asked. "Earth's warriors?" Tom had thought about it every day since the attack. "Maybe, when I'm old enough. Someone has to protect the next colony, the next group of farmers looking for peace." "Mom won't like that," Emma said. "I know," Tom smiled. "But she'll understand. That's what humans do. We protect each other." They stood in comfortable silence, watching the stars. Somewhere up there, Earth's patrol fleets were moving. Silent watchers keeping guard over colonies spread across 100 systems. Warriors who had sworn to answer every call. To protect every human settlement, no matter how small or distant. Tom thought about the captain's words. About Earth always watching, always coming. About 50 warriors who had descended from the skies when all hope was gone. "Tell me the story again," Emma said suddenly. About the day they came. Tom had told it 100 times. Every child in the colony wanted to hear it. But he never tired of telling it. "The sky was red with smoke," he began, "and we thought we were going to die. The Krell were at our doors. Our defenders were gone. All hope was lost, and then?" Emma prompted, even though she knew every word. "And then the sky filled with falling stars. Black pods surrounded by fire. They crashed down like the fist of heaven itself. And when the doors opened, Earth's warriors stepped out. What did they look like? Like legends made real. Like heroes from ancient stories. Their armor was scarred from 1,000 battles. Their weapons sang songs of thunder. They walked into enemy fire like they were strolling through gardens. And they won," Emma finished. "They won," Tom confirmed. "In 11 minutes, they broke an enemy that had terrorized this sector for years. They sent a message that echoed across the galaxy, that humanity protects its own, that Earth always comes. Always," Emma repeated with satisfaction. Tom looked up at the stars again. Earth was out there somewhere, 12 light years away. A blue and green world he barely remembered. But it didn't matter how far. It didn't matter how many years had passed since his family had left. Earth remembered. Earth protected. Earth came when called. That was what it meant to be human. "Come on," Tom said, taking Emma's hand. "Let's go home." They walked back to their rebuilt house together. Behind them, the stars shone bright and clear. Above them, invisible in the darkness, Earth's patrol ships kept their silent watch. And across the galaxy, in 1,000 colonies on 100 worlds, humans slept safely, protected by warriors who would cross any distance and face any enemy to defend their own. The message had spread. The galaxy now knew what Earth's children had always known. Humanity never abandoned its own. Not ever. Not for any reason. And when hope was gone, when darkness seemed absolute, humanity's warriors would descend from the skies with fire and fury. Because that was what humans did. They protected each other. Always.